Video, let us see the April 22 Indian Express news articles. First article is related to recalling Aurangzeb. PM says fanatism couldn't deter India. Never posed threat to any country, has followed ideals of Sikh gurus. Describing Guru Tej Bahadur as Hindi Chadar, who stood like a rock in front of Aurangzeb's tyrannical thinking. Prime Minister Modi said Thursday that religious fanaticism and atrocities, violences perpetrated in the name of religion could not separate the people from their faith. And while big powers have disappeared, big storms have passed, India stands immortal and moving forward. He marks the 400th birth anniversary of 9th Sikh Guru. Guru Tej Bahadur, he was beheaded on orders of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb at the site where Gurudwara Sisganj Sahib stands opposite the Red Fort. Next article that we are moving into is related to many species missing from schedules, House panel says in the report. Let us see what the article talks about. Wildlife Protection Amendment Bill 2021 proposes 50 amendments to Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora and Fauna, that is CITES, which regulates the trade of 38,700 species of wild animals and plants. Non-compliance could mean a suspension from CITES and a subsequent barring from trade in permitted species with other countries. Let us see this in detail. Ministry has streamlined the scheduling of species from original 6 schedule to just 3 schedules. Schedule 1 for species that will enjoy the highest level of protection, Schedule 2 for the species that will subjected to a lesser degree of protection, Schedule 3 that covers plants. It finds a number of species missing in all 3 schedules. It also found species that should be in Schedule 1 must have been placed in Schedule 2. There are species missing altogether both in Schedule 1 and 2 as well as Schedule 3. Committee would also like to point out that due to reduction in the number of schedules in the bill, many species fail to appear in either Schedule 1 or Schedule 2. But one species amendment in this regard that provides for the transfer or transport of elephants has raised a serious concern in the wildlife conservation community and in some state government that this could lead to trading of elephants. Committee is deeply conscious of the fact that a number of religious and cultural institutions in some states own elephants which play a crucial role in the daily worship and rituals. That is why it has attempted to strike a careful balance to ensure that age-old traditions are not interfered with while at the same time addressing widespread concerns that nothing should be done to even give a impression that private ownership of elephants and trade in them is going to be encouraged. Okay. Next article is speaking truth to political executive Venkaiah Naidu warned that nexus of politicians and civil servants was affecting the welfare of the poor in the country. He advised the civil servants to be frank and honest and stand for what is right. Naidu called for reforms to enable promotions based on merit in bureaucracy so that officers can take on emerging challenges and complexities in the changing times. Civil servants should be neutral to politics. You should be concerned about the poor who are on the streets and ensure they are safe. Adopt nation first approach, says PM. Believers are atheists that courage to change the tradition followed after death. This article talks about the same on the Civil Service Day. Prime Minister Modi said no society in the world, be it is a believer or atheist, had the courage to change the tradition followed after death. I told them traditionally the Hindu used to consider being cremated in the fire of sandalwood by the bank of Ganges to be specious. That same Hindu adapted to the electric cremation without any hesitation. There is no better example than this of evolving mindset of society. he said. Okay, next article that we are talking about is related to Pursuit of Peace. What this is about: Camp Hebron visit by Center's envoy is a gesture to Naga rebels. Both parties should seize the momentum, clink a deal. Center's interlocutor A.K. Misra meeting NSCN IM leader at Camp Hebron, the headquarters of the rebel outfit. Mishra is scheduled to meet the NSCN IM leaders, including Muva, members of state government core committee and Nagaland national political group. Next article that we are seeing is related to high resolution tool. Insolvency bankruptcy code has outperformed the earlier regime in terms of speed and efficiency. What the article talks about is the performance of insolvency bankruptcy code, a landmark reform executed the first term of Narendra Modi government, has been under intense scrutiny. The code has been mainly criticized on 3 counts. First, there are inordinate delays in the resolution procedure. Second, there have been a more liquidation than the resolution. Third, recovery amounts under insolvency bankruptcy code are not substantial, making it more of the talking point than an effective structural reform. The performance of IBC vis-a-vis Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction regime. For instance, it is often reported that IBC has reduced the average time to settle a bankruptcy case from 5.8 years to 1.6 years. There are 2 grounds on which one could question the above conclusion. First, it may be the case that while BIFR was somewhat slow in resolution, it solved significantly more cases. This is, however, simply not true. Since its inception in 1987, BIFR has resolved less than 3,500 cases, while IBC, since it was launched in 2016, resolved about 1,178 cases until suspended at the onset of COVID pandemic. Finally, since many of the unresolved cases stuck in the BIFR was transferred to IBC, delays in resolution should be viewed in comparison with the historical case pendency. One could argue that because the IBC is more efficient, it is also likely to see more cases being admitted than under BIFR. This is a fair point that one that only bolster out the thesis that IBC represents structural shift and substantive improvement over the BIFR. The IBC has significantly outperformed the earlier BIFR regime in terms of the speed of resolution. Most analysts of IBC performance overlook the important fact that many of the legacy BIFR cases are subsumed by IBC, and these were often zombie firms that were kept alive due to massive evergreening loans between 2008 to 2015, a mysterious sequence of events that wrecked India's banking system that took the better part of the decade to fix. Next article talks about Urdu public sphere. Publications must revive the ethos of Sir Syed Abdul Kalam Azad. The first Urdu newspaper, Jam-i-Jahan Numa, was published on March 27, 1822. The weekly was launched by Harihar Datta from Kolkata. Putin claims victory in Mariupol, own storm site of resistance. Vladimir Putin claimed victory in the Battle of Mariupol on Thursday. Next article is related to explosion across Afghanistan kills 10, injured dozens. Mazar-e-Sharif occurred as Muslims marked the holy month of Ramadan, when the faithful fast from sunrise to sunset. The explosion on Thursday, this one in northern Kunduz province, struck a vehicle carrying mechanics contracted by ruling Taliban. Next article is Gaza violence escalates as Jerusalem clashes resume. Palestinians want East Jerusalem, including its Muslim, Christian and Jewish holy sites, as a capital of a future state. Israel, which annexed East Jerusalem in a move not internationally recognized after capturing the area in 1967 war, regards all of the Jerusalem as its eternal capital. Israel's Air Force and Palestinian militant traded fire across the Gaza frontier early Thursday as clashes erupted again at Jerusalem's most sensitive holy sites, worsening an escalation that has been similar to lead up to last year's Israel-Gaza war. Next article that we are moving into before that, if you like the video, please do share, like, comment and subscribe. Let us continue the next article in the next video. Thank you.